Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Bruce, and in the following video I will be going through some of the best weapons. Well, I'll go through every weapon and I'll give you my opinion on the best weapon to use in Vigor and why. But okay, before we get started, I just want to thank each and every one of you that has subscribed to my channel and been supporting me. It's been going very good on YouTube, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, as it helps out my YouTube channel a lot. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Guys, I'm just going to say this straight off the back. I'm not going to do knives. Knives in this game is horrible. I would not prefer using a knife as the, just the knifing rate, I guess you can call it fire rate as well. It's just very slow in my opinion. But okay, let's go through the grey guns. So this is the basic, I'm pretty sure you can call it common guns. So it's the Izh Rifle, Tommy, Silver, Pigeon, PM, pistol, the Mosin, M2 Carbine, Vigor, SK, Rack, 1911, Izh Grease Gun, Es16a2, and the AKM. Okay, so let's go through the AKM. The AKM is my preferred weapon if you are down to, a minimum amount of weapons and you just want to go out there and gain a bit more weapons and just build up your weapon stash. So we prefer using the AK. It's very good, it's reliable, the mag is pretty good, so it's 30 round mag, and the damage on it, as you guys can see, is 35. The iron sights is not too bad as well. The Es16a2 Rifle. This has been a favorite in so many games, but in my opinion in Vigor it's one of the worst weapons. I know there's people out there saying that this gun is very good, and I can agree with you if you know how to use it, but for beginners, no, I would not prefer it. The Grease Gun, in my opinion, probably the worst weapon or the worst SMG in Vigor, as the base damage is 28, not too bad. The fire rate is super slow, the gun's handling and recoil is not good, it's very bad. So I would not prefer using the Grease Gun. The Izh Shotgun, my personal favorite shotgun. So if you want to go out there and use a shotgun, I would prefer using the Izh, as the effective range, well, I'm pretty sure is the longest between the shotguns, so that's 450. Let's see, the Silver Pigeon 450. So apparently the effective range is on both of them the same, but to me personally, the pallet spread on the Izh, just Izh feels a lot better. So I would prefer using the Izh if you have some of them, or if you can even craft them. If you want to go shotgun run, the Izh is the best in my opinion. The 1911, if you need pistol kills, this is the go-to pistol. It's a very good pistol for beginners. It's a grey weapon, as you guys can see, so it's a common and very easy to obtain. You can easily get parts for this weapon, and it's kind of expensive to craft, but as you guys can see, the crafting table is only level 2, so it's low tier weapon. The Rack, this is in my opinion the best secondary weapon that you can get in the game. If you have any other opinions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, but I would prefer using the Rack if you want to go out there and just dominate people with a secondary. The mag size, as you can see, is 26, so the capacity is not good. The base damage is 26, but if you hit your shots with this, it's going to wreck people, I can promise you that. The SKS, as you guys might know, Vigor is a Bohemia interactive game, and DayZ, also developed by Bohemia, also has the SKS in it. The SKS is in DayZ a very good weapon, but in Vigor, I would not say the worst weapon. As you can see, the base damage is very good, but the fire rate is super slow. The fire rate is horrible, so I would not prefer using the SK unless you are used to slow fire rate. The Vigor, yes, a pistol. I would not prefer using. The pistol is not good at all, and I would not prefer using the pistol. This Luger, the fire rate is also very slow on it. As you can see, the rate of fire is 230. The M2 Carbine. This might be one of the best grey weapons that you can get out there. If you go ahead and look at the marksman rifles, you can classify it as, because the M2 Carbine can actually get fully automatic selected. As you can see at the info, there is a fully automatic option, and when you hip fire with this thing, it would absolutely shred people. Okay, but do not try to spray it in iron sights. That's not going to work. The Mosin Nagant. This is also a DayZ favorite, and in my opinion, a good gun in Vigor, but I would prefer it with a scope. So if this gun had a scope, it would be one of my most used and favorite sniper rifles in Vigor. The PM pistol, it's definitely better than the Luger, but in my opinion, I just don't like it because I don't use pistols in the game. But if you have a better opinion, I can see the Luger is kind of better. As you can see, the fire rate and base damage is more on the Luger, but I would not prefer using any pistols in the game, I guess. As I said, I'm not going to do knives. The Silver Pigeon. If you haven't played with this gun, you haven't started Vigor yet. Silver Pigeon is a good gun to start off. If you don't have any other shotguns, I would prefer using the Silver Pigeon, as it's a 1 to 2 hit kill depending on the range of the player. The Thompson. Oh, I do not like the Thompson, but I've noticed some people can actually play with this Thompson. The iron sights is not some of the best iron sights you can get, but it's better than some of the worst weapons out there. So I would prefer using the Thompson as a beginner as well, when you can't, let's say, corrupt the AKM or anything like that. Okay, and the VZ rifle. This gun is horrible in my opinion, unless you hip fire. If you go in close range and you hip fire, this thing will shred. As you can see, the rate of fire is 800, and the AKM's rate of fire is 600. But the VZ rifle has the exact same damage and mag capacity. So using the VZ58P AK variant in close quarters, you would absolutely shred people. Okay, so that's it for the grey gun. Go on to the green guns. I'm not going to go through the knives, as the knives is pretty useless. Let's go to the Machine Gewehr 3. So this is a LMG. As I said, well, I don't say it yet, but I would not prefer using any LMGs apart from one that I will mention later in this video. So the Machine Gewehr is an horrible machine gun. The rate of fire is pretty good, the mag capacity is pretty good, but the bullet spread is horrible. The gun is heavy to carry around, so unless you're going close range, I'm talking like building, I would not prefer using this. You need to go prone to ADS. If you don't know what ADS is it's aim down sight. If you are crouched or standing up, you are going to have to hip fire. It's, in my opinion, a very bad gun for mid to long range. Close range, I would prefer using this, as it's good, but it's too expensive to craft just to go out there and die. As Vigor's, well, most of the maps on Vigor is long range, or at least mid range. The VZ rifle, one of my personal favorite rifles on the green side. Well, I think it's the only one, but very good rifle. If you guys watched my previous video, I actually dominated 2 guys with this VZ rifle. It's iron sighted, low recoil, really good fire rate, and really high damage. I know the base damage says 37, but you can easily kill a guy in 2 to 3 shots depending on where you kill him, and the range is outstanding. The iron sight is also very good, and it's a single firing weapon, so I'm pretty sure you can classify this as a marksman or DMR, as it's the same type of weapon. Okay, let's scroll down, as I've noticed there are more green guns down here. Okay, so let's start with the A74K. If you're new in the game, the A74K is your best AK variant up until the green rarity, the uncommon. The AK-74 has low recoil, good iron sights, perfect fire rate. This gun is an absolute beast. You can dominate the whole lobby with just using the A74K. I myself would like to get the blueprint for this gun, but I am not that lucky to get the blueprint for that gun, but I do have blueprints for other guns. The MGV, this is an LMG, but I would not prefer using it, guys. As you can see, the rate of fire is 1500, the mag capacity is 161, but the base damage is 11 because it shoots 22 LR rounds. Okay, it's a horrible weapon to use unless you are going close range and you can hip fire with this. Same, it's an LMG. Close range hip fire is your best option, but then someone can just come along with a shotgun or something and dominate you. The Scorpion, I know in DayZ Scorpion is not one of the best weapons, but in Vigor, for one of the secondary weapons, it's a very good gun, but I would prefer using the rack over this, as the rack is a better weapon. Okay, the Suomi KP, well, or the Salami, whatever you like to call it. But the Suomi is a very good weapon if you can, control a bit of recoil. The rate of fire is very good. The mag capacity is 71, so you can just take a mag and a half or maybe 2 mags into an encounter and you can dominate the lobby. The range is not the best, but for close to mid range you might want to use this SMG. It's a very, very good gun, and I would prefer using it as soon as you get one of them. Well, I would prefer keeping one and using the second one you get, but it's up to you guys. Okay, so now I think it's the blue rarity. So yes, it's the rare rarity. Okay, getting into this, the M21. Well, in my opinion, this is a very good gun. It's kind of like the SKS but with a scope. As you guys can see, it looks like the SKS from DayZ, or without the mag. It's kind of like a very good scoped rifle, very good. The fire rate's not the best, but I would prefer using this mid to long range only, not close range. I would prefer using this with a rack or something, so you have an extra AR slot where you can keep a special weapon that you find in the map or something. But okay, the next weapon, the PKM. So I've used this a couple of times, but as I said, LMGs are some of the worst weapons in the game, and I would not prefer using LMGs. This is a very good LMG for hip fire as well, and you need to prone to actually ADS with this LMG, but it's too heavy to use in encounters. The PPSH-41. This is basically the older brother of the Suomi. This gun absolutely dominates. If you can craft this weapon and use it, yeah, the game will get easier, I can promise you that. Just need to get used to the recoil. I once took out a trio squad with just 1 mag of the PPSH. So this gun is good. The base damage is low, but the fire rate is good. Sawed-off shotgun. I've used this gun once, but I would not prefer using it in most encounters, as it's a sawed-off barrel, so it is short range only. But if you can find this in a safe or something, I would prefer taking it, because this you can actually deconstruct for a lot of materials. Okay, so that's the first set of blue or rare weapons. Let's go to the second set. It's down here. Okay, the combat Magnum. I've used this. It's about a 2-hit kill. As you guys can see, the damage is 69 in the game. I think it's the third most, or the third highest rated damage weapon in the game. But as you guys can see, so the fire rate is very slow. It's a revolver, so you're going to have to use 6 bullets with a lot of recoil, so you're going to have to time your shots perfect to hit follow-up shots. And very good gun, but there is a better version. This is a 357 Magnum. If you get one, I would prefer trying using it just for the fun of it. The crossbow, guys. The crossbow's base damage is 75, but this is an horrible weapon to use. It's the worst weapon in my opinion, guys, as the crossbow has the slowest rate of fire. It can only take one bolt at a time. The damage is 75, so if you don't get a body shot and then another body shot, you're going to die. I can promise you guys that. But if you get headshots, it's a one-hit kill as usual. This gun is very, very useless in encounters. I've seen people try and shoot you with this in the back, but you just turn around and spray them down with any other weapon. The gal. So the gal is an Uzi. Well, it looks like an Uzi, so I would say it's an Uzi. Fire rate, recoil, mag capacity, everything is great. Very good secondary. The only reason why I would prefer the rack over this, because the gal is hard to get and the blueprint is also hard to get, or the plan. The Gewehr 3. So the Gewehr is a very good rifle. The mag capacity is not at my liking. The damage is good, but as I said, the capacity is not good. If you're going to hip fire with this thing, you're going to dominate if you hit every shot for, let's say, close to almost mid-range. But the iron sights are some of the worst, as you can barely see what's going around, you know, what's happening in front of you, to be honest. Okay, the KK62. I haven't really used this, but it's the same as the PKM, I guess. So it's basically the PKM combined with the Gewehr, the LMGs. So I prefer not using LMGs, as I said, unless you're going close range, because you need to go prone to actually aim down sight. The KS23, very good shotgun. It takes 4 bullets in the mag, so it's 1 in the chamber and 3 in its tube, I guess you call it. Very good shotgun, but it's hard to obtain. The double barrel, well, the sort of double barrel is a lot easier to obtain. This thing also shreds at some points, but you need to be very close. The Pamd 86, the only rifle in the game that can go 3 different fire rates. For example, single shot, burst fire, or fully automatic. This might be one of my most favorite AK variants in the game. Very good to use, but hard to obtain, and also hard to, you know, master this weapon, but it can be one of the best. The RPK is almost like an LMG combined with an AK variant. So this RPK, it's a blue variant, but there's a lot more RPKs. I think there's 2 more, maybe just 1 more, I don't know. But this RPK is very good weapons, but I would not prefer using the RPK on its own. I would prefer using the RPK 74 or R74K or whatever it's called. We'll go through that just now. But this gun, it has a very high, as you can see, capacity for bullets, 76, and if you hip firing, you can absolutely, you know, spray people down. This sniper rifle, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name, but if you transfer it to English, it's going to give you sniper rifle. So this is a very good sniper rifle, but you're going to have to hit 2 or more shots, well, 3 body shots, or maybe just 1 headshot to kill, as the base damage is low and the fire rate is horrible. The sights on this gun is also not the best, and the bullet velocity is some of the worst. So I would not prefer using this sniper rifle unless you can master it. The ZAM-72 AK variant. So this is an RPK with an AK combined with, I don't know, whatever, but it looks like an AK, okay, combined with an RPK. Very good gun, as I said, almost like an LMG. Hip fire is the best option, as these big guns, those have a lot of recoil, and you do not want to mess around with the recoil. Okay, so that's it for the blue guns. Now I think it's up to the purple guns. very good weapons we're going to now. Okay, so let's go to the Or Para. So this is a SMG, as you can see, it used 9x19 Parabellum. It's a very good close range weapon if you're inside a building. I've once dominated a guy using a shotgun against me, so I just shred him with this Or. Very good gun. If you can craft it, it's hard to craft, but it's easy to obtain as well. Not the easiest, but you can get it here and there, and I got most of mine in crates. Okay, so the ZAM or ZAM-72, the sniper rifle. Kinda looks like a Dragunov, but the SVD is more like, you know, sort of a Dragunov. But anyways, the ZAM, in my opinion, a very bad sniper rifle unless you can master it. It just feels like the sights are a bit out, but the fire rate is very slow. So unless you're running this with a very good secondary weapon or another primary, if you don't do that, you're going to be useless, because if someone comes up close to you, they're going to shred you unless you get a lucky headshot. But the damage is very good, so it's about 2 to 3 hit kill depending on where you hit the guy, and you can also get 1 hit headshots. The range is also good, and I would prefer using this if you have the amount that I have. As you can see, I have 29 and I can craft it, but in my opinion I would use the SVD instead. Okay, scroll a bit down, we're going to get to more purple weapons down here, or military grade I think it's called. So there we go, the OR A1 military grade assault rifle. This is not one of my personal favorite ARs. I would not prefer using it as it is expensive to craft, and not one of my favorite weapons. It's, yeah, the sights on the OR Para and the OR A1 is very bad. But as you can see, the base damage and fire rate is pretty good. The capacity is 31 like all the other ARs. The OR HBART or HBART. This is my personal favorite weapon to use in any encounter, as it can go fully automatic. It's good at mid-range, short range and long range. The fire rate is amazing. The mag capacity is 31 for a fully automatic DMR, I guess you can call it. And the base damage is pretty good, but in really long range you need to be hit a person like 4 or 5 times in the chest to actually kill them. But if you can manage this weapon, I would prefer using it if you have a lot of them or if you can craft them. The Bungle, this is the FAMAS, as other people might know. I haven't really used this gun in my own gameplay or so, but I've seen people shred other players with it, as it can go, well, it's one of the only ARs. I know I've said that the PA is the only AR that can go in 3 different fire rates. I apologize, I see the Bungle does it as well. So it's 3 different fire rates: single, burst or fully automatic. I would prefer using this gun in burst fire, as it is in all the games. Burst fire, very good, damage is very good, fire rate is high, mag capacity is good. So I would prefer using this gun if you have multiple of them, but if you do not have multiple, I would prefer just leaving it in storage. Very good gun to use, but hard to master. The Gewehr 3 SG1, in my opinion, the best purple weapon or military grade weapon that you can get in this game. The bullet spread is low. There's really no bullet spread when hip firing. It has a scope on it. It can go single fire or fully automatic. This gun's a beast. If you can craft this, the game is basically yours, because this is a very good gun, not hard to use. I know some people might say it's hard to use as the fire rate is high, the capacity for the bullets is low, etc. But I would say this is one of the best weapons in the game. Okay, and if you can craft this, as I said, you can absolutely dominate the lobbies. Its only problem is it's hard to obtain. You're gonna have to take this from any other player that has it on them. So you're gonna go up against one of the best weapons and try and win that weapon, unless you have the blueprint or the plan. But as you can see, it costs 16,200 materials, and it takes an hour and a half to craft. But it's worth the time, I can promise you guys. If you have multiple of this gun, use it. The M249, in my opinion, the best LMG to ever exist. In Vigor, it's the only LMG where you can stand, prone and crouch. While ADS, you can use your iron sights at any situation. This gun is very good. The recoil is a lot, but it's an LMG. Well, LMGs aren't supposed to have that much recoil. This thing can shred people, I promise you that. Very good gun. And guys, I apologize for the weather. It is yeah, it's thunderstorms here, so if you hear that, I apologize. But anyways, so it's an M249, hard to obtain, but I got a lucky military crate where I got 7 of them. One I actually, you know, got in a match. But very good, hard to obtain, expensive to craft, but not that expensive. And it also takes 200 bullets in the mag. Okay, 1 mag and you can dominate 2 lobbies, even more if you get the best accuracy. The PSS, I've used this gun, the pistol, in my opinion, also a very bad pistol to use. As you guys can see, it is a suppressed pistol, but it doesn't really sound suppressed, it just sounds like a pea shooter. But I would prefer using this if you get in the game. As you guys can see, the base damage is 40, the fire rate is a bit slow, but the capacity is 7, and you only need like 3 bullets to kill a person with this gun. So it's a very good gun, but in my own opinion, it's not my cup of tea. Okay, the RPK 74. This might be might be the best RPK variant in the game. It has low recoil, high fire rate, base damage not the best, but with the fire rate it goes good, or it does well. The capacity for the mag is 46, and it doesn't weigh that much. It uses 545 by 39, so it's a small caliber weapon. Very good to use. I would prefer using this, and I'm pretty sure this you can obtain through any safe, well, not any safe, the time safe. Very good to use in any game. If you go into any other AK variant into a battle, you are going to win if you're using the RPK 74. Okay, the UK VZ59. This is also an LMG, more like the Gewehr, just a better version. I haven't used this on my own as I didn't want to lose it, so I had to extract with it. Very good, I guess, LMG. The base damage is good, fire rate is good, capacity for the mag is only 51. It's not good for an LMG, but it uses 7.62, so that means the recoil is going to be bad. You're going to have to prone to ADS with this weapon, but if you're standing or crouched, you're going to have to do the whole hip fire thing. Okay, the VSS. This is probably my most favorite weapon in all the games, to be honest, as it is a suppressed DMR. Very good, fully automatic. As you can see, the fire rate is 700 in Vigor. The base damage on this weapon is 71. It's rated as the 3rd most, well, I guess, or the 3rd highest damage weapon in Vigor. The VSS. Okay, as I said, one of the best weapons in the game. The fire rate, very good. It is also fully automatic, or you can use it in semi-automatic. It has a scope on it, and it's suppressed. So the advantage about this weapon, guys, is well, it's fully suppressed, guys. So who doesn't want to use a suppressed weapon with a fully automatic fire rate? Very good to use. The recoil is not too bad, but I would prefer using it in hip fire whenever you use it in fully automatic. and not aim down sight, as I think the sight is a bit buggy and yeah, it doesn't work out as it's supposed to. Very good weapon, only a 11 capacity mag, but it doesn't weigh that much, and the amount of damage, you need to hit a person twice and he's dead. Okay, and the downside about this weapon is people can actually hear the suppressed shot if you are close before the bullet hits them, as it's using subsonic rounds, and what that means is the bullets travel slower than the speed of sound. Okay, so that's it for the military grade weapons. Now let's go to the special issue weapons. Special issue rifle, the SVD, probably the best special issue whatever weapon they call it, but in my opinion not the best. The fire rate is slow, the damage is good, the capacity is 11, so this is kind of like the ZAM but the better version. This is like the big brother of the ZAM. Okay, costs a lot to craft, blueprint wasn't hard to obtain, as you guys can see I already have it, and yeah, it uses 7.62x54, so you get 10 bullets extra whenever you craft this weapon, and it is very good to use in sniping, but close range you're not gonna win unless you hit your shots. Okay, let's go down. The ADR, or better known the P90, I nearly said MP, but the P90. This is a very good gun. The sight is horrible, but it's doable. Base damage is good. The fire rate is amazing. The recoil on this gun is low. So if you want to use this gun, I would prefer using it in mid to close range, but not really mid range, more like close range. And ADS, guys, you can fully on spray with this gun, as it has a 51 capacity bullet mag. Okay, it doesn't weigh that much. The only downside is the ammo. It's hard to obtain. You can only obtain it from the safe and I guess crates, but it's the timed safe and crates. Very hard to obtain the bullets unless you can craft it, but I think to craft the bullets would also cost a lot. The gun itself is not hard to obtain. You can easily get this gun, but the blueprint can be hard to obtain depending on your luck, I guess. Very good weapon to use. And yeah, the MP5. This is basically the suppressed and weaker version of the ADR. As you can see, the damage is less, the rate of fire is less. The damage is supposed to be more, as it's using 9x19, but it's not a special issue ammo. That's why. The good thing about the MP5 is it's suppressed, fire rate is good, 31 capacity, so you can kill a guy in 5 bullets, I guess, and if you hit it on body shots, I guess, but very good. People won't even know you're coming whenever you shoot at them. ADS with this gun is horrible, as it blocks a lot of your view as well. The SVU, probably my, I guess, favorite special issue rifle. I can craft it. Well, I don't have the crafting table level, but it is a lot to craft and takes 12 hours to craft. This gun is amazing. You can absolutely shred with this gun in lobbies. So, having the SVU on your side, you can call the lobby yours. As you can see, it has a single fire rate, fully automatic rate, it has a scope on it, the bullet spread is not that bad, it's suppressed, the base damage is good, so it's about 3 shots the guy's dead, fire rate very good, the mag capacity kills you, it's 11, but close range you can shred in fully automatic. Mid to long range you can put it in single fire and you can shred everyone in your path. This is a very good gun, but hard to obtain. It's not some of the best weapon. Well, it's, I guess, the best weapon, but it's not like some of the other weapons that you can easily obtain. Okay, the SWSH, this is the 44 Magnum. Remember I told you guys about the better version of the 357 Magnum? Well, this is it. It is the highest damage rated weapon in Vigor. As you can see, the base damage is 123. That's basically a one-hit kill in the body, if this game's correct. It gives you stun damage as well, so I think you walk slower or something like that. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's dizziness. This gun is hard to obtain, very very hard to obtain. The plan, I don't know where you're gonna get this plan. It costs a lot to craft, unless you're going out there and you're going out there with skill. I would not prefer using this weapon as it's a revolver. The capacity is only 6, so there's no spraying people down. You only have 6 bullets at a 120 fire rate. The range is not the best, but it's better than some of the pistols, well, most of the pistols. Very good weapon to use. Not that hard to obtain the ammo, but yeah, the gun itself is very hard to get. If you have one of this, I would prefer not using it unless you have 3 of them. Then I would say go ahead, use one of them. Just test it out. It's a very good gun. You can easily get kills with this if your aim is good. But myself, no. I can't get kills with one-shot weapons. But yeah, I see why this weapon is hard to obtain, as the base damage is a lot. As you can see, it's 123. So yeah, I think that's all of the weapons. Let's see if there's any more. Nope, that's the final weapon. So guys, in season 7 I'm going to go over the weapons again, but I might do a ranking list from the worst to the best weapon, but that's going to take some time. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. So yeah, cheers guys.